Thanks a lot for jumping into this video. I'm pretty sure you were either curious or skeptical when you saw the title. But it's actually not an exaggeration. I recently launched FeedHive, a tool for content creators. I started working on the MVP on the 28th of November 2020 and had my first paying users after exactly 63 days. And yes, I did this while working 40 hours a week with 2 clients as a freelance consultant. So, how the hell did I manage to pull this off? Stick around, I'll share some great tips on productivity, management, promotion, and growth. Alright, before we get started here, let me just set the scene. FeedHive is not the first SaaS product that I'm launching. Let's go back to February 2020. My friend and I created a challenge. We called it 100 Days of Tech Startup, inspired by the Twitter trend 100 Days of Code. But instead of writing code for 100 days, we were going to launch a SaaS product in 100 days, all inclusive. For 100 days straight, I was pouring all that I had into my product. I was grinding the best I had ever learned, and when launch day finally arrived, nothing happened. No one gave a damn about my product. I got close to 0 traction on it. I had collected a small list of early users by email and barely anyone signed up. I posted on beta list, product hunt, Reddit boards, indie hackers. Still, no one cared. It was just drowning in all the other products with a similar lack of interest. I had to almost drag users into the platform by force. To be fair, the product actually do have active users today, but it's very far from being a successful product, let alone profitable. Have a dedicated audience. I made a lot of mistakes, but the biggest one was underestimating the value of having an audience. At that point, I had around 250 followers on Twitter and I barely used LinkedIn. Needless to say, it was disappointing seeing my hard work dissolve into the void. I started reading books. There were 3 books that changed my mind. Rework by the creators of Basecamp, The Lean Startup by Gary Ries, and 1 Million Followers by Brendan Kane. These books made me realize how important a dedicated audience is. So I decided to build one, and I made it my primary goal to grow a dedicated following as fast as possible. With focus and hard dedication, I managed to grow my Twitter account from around 800 followers in mid-June to 32,000 followers today, roughly 6 months after. I made a public announcement about FeedHive in a tweet on the 3rd of January this year, and a tweet announcing the beta launch again on the 6th of February. With almost 3,000 likes on these tweets in total, it was very clear that this was going to be a different story. During January, FeedHive got mentioned countless of times. A lot of people were very interested in this product. So, the lesson learned here. You need to create initial hype and interest around your upcoming product. If you don't have a large follower count yourself, you need to find people that have. I can say with almost 100% certainty that your product is going nowhere without this factor. Get early users and feedback fast. Yes, you've probably heard this before, most likely many times, but it's because it's crucially important. It's probably one of the single most important factors of lean startup. Don't just build away. You need validated learnings from actual real-life human beings that can be potential users of your product. Through Twitter, I invited 20 users in already 12 days after I started developing FeedHive. The application didn't do a whole lot, only very basic functionality, and it was full of bugs. I created a small focus group on Twitter in a group chat, and I have been talking to these users almost daily. Not only did they provide invaluable feedback and catch 90% of all the existing bugs, but a lot of them also came to fall in love with the product and are some of the biggest advocates today. It's very clear, without having this group of users on board this early, FeedHive would have most likely completely missed the target. In fact, this is the reason most tech startups fail. They end up building a solution that no one likes to a problem that no one has. So the lesson learned here, start creating awareness about your product early, partially by onboarding early users as fast as you can. Don't be afraid if your product looks like junk and it doesn't do all the things you'd like. Believe me, by building your product together with early adopters, you will save yourself tremendous amount of time and you will be much more likely to hit the target. Reuse everything you can. I have built FeedHive on a technology stack using AWS and React, two super popular solutions. The biggest takeaway here is that there are so many awesome libraries out there that can save you a lot of time. I've used Chakra UI for the front end and AWS Amplify and AppSync for the back end, and a lot of small libraries that were already made and ready to use. It's gonna be easier to implement and typically also easier to scale. So do yourself a favor and use as much of this as you possibly can. In addition to that, I also got a great habit of reusing my own code. From previous projects, I encapsulated small modules that could easily be reused. Templates for landing pages, utility functions, authentication modules, and so on. I also got into the habit of reusing some of the code that I've been writing during my work as a consultant. Remember, it's not appropriate to use solutions that you do not own the IP of, but it's mostly okay to take individual small code snippets, approaches, and general know-how that you gain from your daily work. Of course, make very sure that you know what you are allowed to take, but in general, if anything you do outside the project can yield any artifacts that you can take advantage of, do so, and get into the habit of spotting it. Spend time on marketing. This probably goes without saying, if you don't market your product, you will never get users. I have spent a good deal of time creating initial hype around FeedHive. This includes making promo videos, demos, and example screenshots. I've shared a lot of insights, details about the technology stack, user statistics, and revenue. It's popular to build in public. People love it. They get curious, and they want to get inspired to build their own. Take advantage of that. Keep people in the loop. Share your progress. And don't be embarrassed about sharing the negatives as well. People rarely judge. They actually really appreciate the openness about it. Another great idea is to use the power of open source. One of the core modules of FeedHive is the API client that communicates with the Twitter API. This client is open source and has almost 500 stars on GitHub. This has multiple benefits. It's indirectly creating awareness and directing traffic. It outsources part of the development to the open source community. And most importantly, it helps other developers. And that reflects super good on you as a founder. Keep it organized. Be super tight with your schedule. I'm a huge fan of using Todoist in combination with Trello. I write everything down, categorizing, prioritizing, and scheduling it. I can really recommend spending time grooming your task board. Keep it updated and make sure that no quick thoughts slip away. Write everything down as soon as you remember. Make sure you spend your time optimally. I use a Pomodoro-inspired technique to keep my focus high while working. I can also recommend daily mindfulness. It doesn't need to be more than 10 minutes, but it can really help increase your ability to focus. Hard work. Yes, we're not gonna get around it. I've been working a lot in these past 2 months. Counting all hours, including working as a consultant, I have put down around 80 to 100 hours every single week. This is not healthy, and I wouldn't recommend doing this on an ongoing basis. But for a limited period of time, it really helps if you can buckle down some serious work. It can also help if you can make a few sacrifices for a limited period of time. It's not healthy to sacrifice sleep, but again, for a shorter period of time, you can sleep a little less than you ideally would. See if you can cut 30 minutes or maybe an hour per night on average. Ideally, I need to sleep 7 hours every night, but cutting 30 minutes to an hour has helped me get in extra work. So, as an example, I typically get up around 4:30 a.m. and start working on FeedHive. Then I switch to working for my clients from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m. Then I continue working on FeedHive until 9:30 p.m. and getting ready to sleep at around 10 p.m. I'll add to this that I have an amazing girlfriend who has been incredibly supportive. She has been doing most cooking, groceries, and housework in this period, even though she's busy running her own business. This has enabled me to keep full focus on the work. And if you have a partner that's willing to exchange periods of doing most of the boring stuff at home, that will certainly help. All right, let's just do a quick summary here. Build an audience. This is a great investment, even if the product you're working on right now isn't going to succeed. Get user feedback as fast as possible. This will save you a lot of time in improving your product, finding bugs, and making fast decisions. Reuse as much as you can. Anything from existing libraries, code snippets that you wrote in other projects or at work, to the extent that you are allowed, of course. Spend time on marketing. Put aside a significant time every day, every week to do marketing. This part can end up determining your success entirely. Keep it organized. Spend a good deal of time putting everything in structure and make sure that your time is spent as optimal as possible. Hard work. Get ready to put down hard work. Remember, you shouldn't neglect your health, but doing less workout, eating less healthy, and sleeping less for a shorter period of time is going to be okay. Just don't make it a habit and remember to listen to your body. I really hope you enjoyed watching. And I hope you got a bit of inspiration for your own SaaS product. Keep an eye on my YouTube channel, because I'm sharing tips on business, SaaS products, and tech regularly. And if you didn't already, please give this video a like and remember to subscribe for more. See you soon.